Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new Pokemon in the world of Pokemon Go, TYRANTRUM. TYRANTRUM is a rock and dragon type Pokemon with the moveset of Dragon Tail, Crunch, and Stone Edge. TYRANTRUM evolves from Tyrunt during daytime hours, which can be encountered through field research tasks or through hatching eggs. For the team, I decided to pair it with an Escavalier on the lead and Dragalge save switch, and I tried it out in the Great League REMIX Cup. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out TYRANTRUM in action in the Great League REMIX Cup. Hopping into the first match, picking up a rough lead, Escavalier into Araquanid. Unfortunately, Araquanid is able to outpace in this matchup. They're going to be going for the Bubble Beam. I am going to tank it, bank all the energy for later, and then save switch into Dragalge. So we tank the move, and in comes Dragalge, and they are staying in. So they may not have a great response to Dragalge as they're going for another Bubble Beam. We tank this no problem. I'm not going to shield that whatsoever. And then they bring in Kommo-o. I have enough for the Outrage, I'm going for the Aqua Tail, trying to get the shield, and we do get the shield. That is massive. Farming up, Kommo-o does not want to take any additional damage, so they're going to fire off a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is easily going to be taking me out, but I do have shield advantage here, which is very nice. I'm going to farm up and go for the Drill Run just before they reach that second Dragon Claw. Drill Run does get the final shield, and this is only a Dragon Claw. My Escav should be able to tank this and reach a third Drill Run. We do. This is going to be taking out Kommo-o, and now it is two shield TYRANTRUM versus the world, looking to make the switch. Araquanid comes in, and in the back is Tapu Fini, and this is a massive problem, as Tapu Fini beats my entire team. I need to shield everything here. These neutral water guns are doing a massive amount of damage to TYRANTRUM. Thankfully, shields are down. We're going to be able to land the Stone Edge. Big damage. Now, can we Dragon Tail down the Fairy type? TYRANTRUM able to do so, but we're going to have to commit the final shield. We are very low. Can we reach the Stone Edge? Yes, we can. TYRANTRUM able to get to the Stone Edge. That is going to be vanquishing Araquanid, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Escavalier into Galvantula. I have two better responses in the back, so I'm going to immediately save switch into Dragalge. Galvantula is staying in, which is honestly really nice for me. They're going to be firing off the Lunge, which does debuff me, but I resist Lunge, so it's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. And then my opponent brings in Abomasnow. I'm going straight for the Outrage here, hoping it can land, and it does, doing a nice amount of damage. Abomasnow going for the farm down. They can't get there, and they're going to have to shield this Aqua Tail if they want to keep all that energy. And now I have gotten shield advantage, and shield advantage TYRANTRUM can put in a ton of work as a closer. Brings in Escav, and they're firing off a move. We resist whatever Abomasnow throws, not worried about that whatsoever. We tank the Weather Ball, and we were able to take them out. I'm expecting to see the Galvantula, and if I do, I'm immediately bringing in TYRANTRUM. We do, and in the back is Whiscash, so they have two counters to TYRANTRUM in the back, and Abomasnow and Whiscash, but here's where having shield advantage can be extremely helpful. I am going to be shielding up the Mud Bomb, as that would be doing massive super effective damage. TYRANTRUM definitely not the tankiest Pokemon around. Going for the Crunch, and it lands. That does a nice amount of damage. They're going to be firing off another Mud Bomb. The question is, can we farm down before they reach a third? This is going to be very close. Able to farm down. Back in comes Galvantula. I'm just going for the fast move beatdown, and they're finally throwing a move. But at this point, this is farm down range for Escav. Shield advantage TYRANTRUM puts in so much work, and that is a good game. Great lead in the next match. Escav into Probopass, and the opponent concedes the match. All right then. Hopping into the next match, leading Escavalier into Shadow Politoed. Pretty neutral lead overall. I'm going to see if I can catch a Weather Ball. Farming up, we go for the catch, they hold on to their energy, and they bring out Frostlass. Definitely unfortunate that I wasn't able to catch, but baiting out Frostlass is still pretty nice, because that should hopefully free up TYRANTRUM in the end game. Frostlass farming up a ton of energy, and they throw just before I reach my second Aqua Tail. I'm more than willing to trade shields here, so I do shield up the Avalanche, and I'm going to fire back with the Aqua Tail. If they want switch advantage, they're going to have to shield, and they do. Frostlass throws at the last second, and I'm perfectly fine with letting this go. I don't really want to shield disadvantage because that Politoed does have a lot of energy. I'd rather just get farm on Escav. Unfortunately, the game does freeze slightly, but then it unfreezes and I'm able to farm down. Back in comes Poly. I'm going straight for the kill shot, going straight for the Mega Horn. It connects, and down they go. But in the back is Primeape, and this is a little scary. I'm gonna let this through. I should be able to survive a Night Slash. And now it's TYRANTRUM time. We're taking massive super effective damage from the counters. Can we take out Primeape? This is going to be very tough. They go for the Night Slash, no boost. TYRANTRUM able to farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up a Nightmare lead, Escav into Drifblim. I'm going to immediately save switch into Dragalge, and my opponent responds with Regirock. This is honestly a pretty nice matchup for Dragalge. One Stone Edge does not KO, and we're able to spam out these Aqua Tails very quickly. They're firing off a move, and I'm not going to shield. Because as I mentioned, Stone Edge not enough to KO, and I'm able to reach a second Aqua Tail, and this is either going to get me switch advantage or shield advantage. Aqua Tail goes unshielded, and I'm able to take switch. That is very nice. Frees up Escav for the end game. My opponent brings in their third Pokemon, which is Vigoroth. They're going for a farm down. I'm not quite able to reach an Outrage, but I'm hoping that I've built up enough that we can still grab a shield. Aqua Tail gets the shield, and it's a CMP tie, so they're forced to waste energy. That is the absolute best thing that could have happened in that situation. In comes Escav, they bring in Drifblim, and now it is TYRANTRUM time. Typically, a Dragon type going up against an Icy Wind user, not a great spot to be in, but again, that's where having shield advantage can make TYRANTRUM incredibly deadly. I am going to be firing off the Crunch here. Crunch does get the shield, but we are starting to get that Drifblim very, very low. I am going to be committing that final shield on their second Icy Wind, and then going straight for the Crunch as soon as I get it. This is going to be enough to take out the Drifblim, and then back in comes that Vigoroth. In comes Vigoroth. They are farming up a ton of energy. My switch clock is up, and I'm able to bring in Escav. And we tank any one move here. They go for the Bulldoze. We tank that no problem. Escav able to farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Escavalier into Mandibuzz. Very neutral lead across the board. Mandibuzz is quite tanky, so I'm going to stay in here to start, try and land a Mega Horn to get some nice chip damage, and then I'm going to be eventually safe switching out. It takes 2 moves to KO us here, so I'm more than fine with no shield in the first. We tank that, and now I get to fire back with the Mega Horn. Mega Horn is going to be doing heavy neutral damage onto the Mandibuzz. In comes Dragalge, and it's met with Vigoroth. Baiting out the counter user is massive. That should hopefully free up TYRANTRUM to close in the endgame. They go for the Body Slam, and I decide, you know what? I'm going straight Outrage. I'm going to guarantee switch advantage or shield, and my opponent does commit the shield. That is a little unfortunate there. I was hoping they would try and call an Aqua Tail. They don't, and my Dragalge gets taken out. Back in comes Escav. Escav is getting quite low to the point where a Body Slam honestly might KO here. So I am going to commit a shield and farm down so that way I can leave with a move loaded. I'm expecting that Mandibuzz to come in, and if they do, I need to immediately switch into TYRANTRUM, but they have a second fighter in the back, and unfortunately this is just game over. Cross Chop easily going to be taking down TYRANTRUM, and I concede the match. Hopping into the next match, leading Escav into Meganium. This is a very nice lead for Escav. We're going to be double resisting their Vine Whips. The only thing we have to be careful of is a potential Earthquake, as that would hit for some heavy neutral damage. I'm going to be going for the Mega Horn, but my opponent does respect it with the shield. This is enough for an EQ, but if they bait, things could get dicey. I call it. It's an Earthquake, and I get taken out by a Shadow Kanto Ninetales. Thankfully, we have a great response to Kanto Ninetales in TYRANTRUM. We're able to do massive damage with the Dragon Tails. They go for the Psyshock, and we're able to tank it. I'm going to overfarm and then go for the Crunch. Crunch is going to be taking out the Ninetales, and if they bring back in the Meganium, I'm going to immediately bring in Dragalge. That's what I'm expecting them to do. They do bring in Meganium, and I respond with Dragalge. I do, of course, have to respect a potential Earthquake here as well, so I will commit the shield, but unfortunately, it is just a Frenzy Plant bait. At this point, I'm just committing. I'm going for the full farm down, and I'm double shielding. Basically, no matter what they throw here, I'm going to double shield and farm down. They end up going for another Frenzy Plant, and they have Graveler in the back, so we are in a fantastic spot. Aqua Tail gets the shield, and now we get to go for the Outrage. This will do massive neutral damage onto that Graveler. Graveler almost taken out, and we're able to Dragon Tail down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Escav into Zweilous, an incredibly dominant lead. Opponent is going to save switch into a Shadow Hypno, and my opponent is absolutely core broken by Escav. I'm going for the kill shot here with the Mega Horn. Mega Horn, unfortunately, is shielded, and then I'm going to bring in TYRANTRUM. TYRANTRUM is going to have to respect a potential Ice Punch here, but it ends up being a Thunder Punch. That's a bit unfortunate. We're able to do some nice damage with the Dragon Tails, but these confusions are adding up quite a bit as well. Able to get a shield from the Hypno. Hypno farming up, and I believe they're at the back-to-back punches. I am going to shield the first Thunder Punch. They're at a second, and I get a Dragon Tail through. The question is, do I live a Thunder Punch here? TYRANTRUM able to hang on and farm down. We do leave with a crunch loaded. Zweilous is going to be able to tank this energy very well, but any chip damage is good damage. We're going to bring in Escav, and in the back, they have Shadow Golbat. I'm going to be going straight for the Aqua Tail just to get some chip damage. Shadow Ball shouldn't one-shot, but I just need any chip damage that I can get. We're able to get that chip damage, and they're firing off a move. This should be the Shadow Ball. It's going to do massive damage, but Dragalge able to hang on. They farm down on 1 HP, and all that does is give Escav some extra farm. Back in comes Zweilous. They need a Dark Pulse, and they're not going to get there. Escav able to reach the Drill Run. Drill Run taking down the Zweilous, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Escav into Pelipper. This is a terrible lead. I'm going to immediately save switch, this time into TYRANTRUM. Bring in TYRANTRUM, and my opponent responds with Unova Stunfisk. So far, things could not be going much worse for us here. Baiting out Ufisk is nice, because hopefully that will allow Dragalge to be freed up for the endgame. I'm going straight for the Crunch. Crunch does a solid chunk of damage, but Ufisk is very tanky and able to farm all the way down. I bring in Escav, but Escav is going to have to tank 2 Mud Bombs here, which is quite unfortunate. They go for the first Mud Bomb, and they're able to reach Mud Bomb number 2. Again, I'm not shielding a thing here. I'm just going to trust in 2-shield Dragalge. We're able to farm down. I'm looking to immediately switch out because I know that Pelipper is coming in. In comes the Pelipper, and I bring in Dragalge. I'm still in a really tough spot here. At this point, I think my win con is to try and call a bait. So I no shield. It's the Hurricane, and that is game over. Hopping into the final match, leading Escavalier into Whiscash. This is definitely where I want to see Whiscash on this team, because my back 2 Pokemon both take super effective damage from ground moves. I do tank a Mud Bomb, so I'm not going to shield the first. We tank that just fine. I'm going to farm up till just before they reach a second, and go for the Mega Horn, hoping it can land. It does, and down goes Whiscash. They bring in a Roserade, I save switch into Dragalge, and they have Greedent in the back. So this game is looking incredibly good for us. Greedent goes for the Body Slam. We tank that, no problem. And I'm going for the big damage. Going straight for the Outrage. Outrage, able to connect. And we're almost able to take down Greedent. They reach one final Body Slam, but again, I don't have to shield there. That is perfectly fine. Back in comes Roserade, and they're going to be firing off their Weather Ball. We do tank the Weather Ball, not too worried about that whatsoever. And then in comes TYRANTRUM. Look at the Dragon Tail damage. Even if they go for a Grass move here, which they do, we're barely able to hang on, and that is a good game. And now some final thoughts on TYRANTRUM. I do believe that it's going to be more of a limited meta or cup mon than a mon that has a ton of play in the Open Great League. While it is quite glassy, due to its pretty high attack stat, it can output a lot of damage, and in limited metas where some of the bulkiest picks like Azumarill and Bastiodon are banned, it can honestly put in some really solid work. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.